We're going to look at the Saltwater Technologies gasket insertion tool. This one is specifically designed for the BX155. All components and the main body are all made from marine grade stainless steel. So starting from the top, the lock-in mechanism is a threaded Allen bolt with a thumb screw. Moving down to the gasket alignment arms, which sit at 12 o'clock on the flange. Again, stainless steel, marine grade. They're attached to the main body by Allen key threaded bolts and tightening bolts being the thumb screws on the other side. Moving down to the hinge, again, marine grade stainless steel, ultra low profile. And then onto the arms. The arms are covered in gripping tape, which is self-amalgamating tape. And the reason for that method will be discussed in a further video. So we're going to talk about how to position the gasket alignment arm so it sits correctly and the gasket aligns into the gasket recess on the flange. So there are three different methods. The first and by far the easiest is each gasket insertion tool is designed for a specific flange. This is the BX155 and we have the PSI markings made onto the main body. These arms have already been positioned on that mark on the main body. However, if you have access to the flange and it's on top side, then you can also do a trial fit, put the gasket into the clamp and then position the arms that way. The third method is to take a measurement from the drawing. So if you take the overall dimension of the flange and half that, that gives you a measurement from the center of the flange up to top dead center, which is where the gasket alignment arms needs to be. However, that's quite difficult to get a measurement from the center of the flange. So to overcome that, if you take an overall measurement of the gasket, half that, add that to the flange measurement, add those two together, and that will give you a measurement from the bottom of the gasket up to where the arm should be. So you can start with that method and then double check with the other two. But as stated, the mark will be on every clamp. Okay, now with the gasket alignment arms in the correct position, we can prepare the tool and the gasket for deployment subsea. So get your gasket and make sure that the serial number is facing away from you at 6 o'clock on the clamp. Place the gasket on a flat surface. Ensure on your clamp that you have enough travel on the closing mechanism. And then simply place it in, close, hold, and secure. You can feel the threaded thumb screw locking, and then with that, you can just simply lift it up and it's ready to go. However, this clamp and gasket now have to go to the work basket, travel through the splash zone and to the work site. So we highly advise that you use a tie wrap, and the tie wrap goes through the hinge, through the gasket and back in, and then just secure that and make it tight. Okay, and then that can be deployed safely and know that it will reach the job in the correct position. Okay, so now on the seabed, the diver's retrieved the gasket and clamp from the work basket, he's removed the tie wrap, and we're ready to do a trial fit. Both flanges are aligned, there's bolts in, and they're kept at 6 inches apart so we can do the trial fit. So the diver simply places the gasket into the flange, sitting it on the alignment arms at 12 o'clock. Just double check that it's fully aligned and inserted in the recess on the flange face, which it is. That confirms that the gasket tool is correct. You then retrieve the tool and the gasket from the trial fit and put it in a safe place and continue with the connection. So the divers have done the final closure on the flanges and they're happy that the gasket is captured on the sealing area of the gasket or the shoulders. And what we need to make sure is that those sealing areas are captured on each recess on each flange. That has been achieved also with the help of the fact that you can put more bolts in with the Saltwater Tech gasket insertion tool, giving more confidence with alignment. So once you're happy that the recesses are holding the gasket, you can then go ahead and remove the clamp. All we do is unscrew the thumb piece on the top, on the locking mechanism. Ensure you've got enough travel to be able to remove the threaded bolt from the mechanism, and then open the clamp and remove. Place the clamp in a safe place, go back to the gasket, check that it's still in the correct position as expected, which it is. The divers then can complete the closure of the flange faces. It's a demonstration here of the design of the Saltwater Tech gasket alignment tool, whereby you can place more bolts in during alignment of both flanges to give you more confidence with that alignment prior to placing the gasket in. We can see now that obviously the gasket is not in, because when I take the flange out it would not stay in position. But we have all but 2 bolts inserted into the flange. I'm now going to open the gasket alignment tool, and you can see from design that there's enough space and such a low profile that the gasket alignment tool can be removed without hitting any of the remaining bolts. Just wanted to talk about why we're using, as a gripper tape, we're using self-amalgamating tape. Several reasons for that. One of the main ones, when the gasket and gasket clamp are within the flange, when the divers shine into that area, which is all extremely shiny stainless steel, high tensile, all they get is a reflection back, so they can't see anything. They won't be able to tell how the connection is going. But if your arm is completely black, then therefore you get a differentiation. So when the feedback from divers is that having a completely black arm has been really beneficial in giving them confidence that the gasket has been sealed correctly. Another reason, when rubber channeling is used as gripper and the flanges are over tightened during closure, the rubber channeling can be ripped off. And the third reason, that if this does happen and the flanges are over tightened and captures the gasket insertion tool, all they will do is squeeze the self-amalgamating tape, which it might damage it, but it will not remain in the flanges. And also when you take it back out, you can repair it by simply putting a little bit more self-amalgamating tape on, which is readily available on all vessels.